All right, ready to dive into some serious sparkle. We're going deep into PN Jewellers Q3FY25 earnings call, and from what I've seen, this company's absolutely on fire.
I know, right? They're not just riding the wave, they're making waves in this industry. Should be a good look at how they're pulling it off.
They've got this smart three-part play going on: retail stores, their online store, and these franchise partnerships. And hold on tight, because October 2024 was a huge one for them. Yeah, they pulled in a record-breaking, get this, over INR 1,050 crores in revenue. Their best month ever.
No, that's not just good, that's strategic genius. Seems like their focus on that premium jewelry and expanding into new markets really hit the mark during those peak buying seasons.
Totally. Their total Q3 revenue hit a massive INR 2,435 crores. That's 23.5% jump year on year. I mean, talk about a glow up.
And it's not just about the big numbers, they're running a tight ship too. Averaging INR 127 crores in revenue per store, that's like way above average. Shows they're attracting the right crowd and making those sales count.
Okay, let's break this down segment by segment. Retail's their big hitter with a 42% year-on-year growth spurt. Festive and wedding seasons, plus that increasing love for the high-end stuff, seem to be fueling this surge.
It's interesting, right, how those traditional drivers are matching up with this shift towards the more expensive pieces. Seems like a growing group of shoppers are ready to spend big for that wow factor.
And don't forget their online store, it's not playing around either. It's boasting almost 100% growth, pulling in INR 70 crores. Online shopping for jewelry, who would have guessed?
The pandemic really flipped the script for a lot of retailers, didn't it? Forced them to adapt to the online world, and it looks like P&G's nailed it, even with something as traditional as jewelry.
Then there are the franchisees, another savvy move on their part. This segment saw an 87% jump, hitting INR 226 crores. Expanding beyond their own stores. Smart move, winning formula for sure.
Clever way to scale up quickly, right? They're tapping into that local know-how and drive of their partners and spreading the P&G name far and wide. But rapid expansion, that always comes with its own set of challenges. Can they keep that same level of quality and customer experience as they grow so fast? That's something to keep an eye on for sure.
Absolutely. Let's switch gears for a minute and talk about what's happening in the industry. Gold prices are going through the roof. I mean, we're talking almost INR 80,000. Yet demand is up 5%. What's going on? Are people just ignoring the price tags?
It's that classic gold paradox, isn't it? It's both a luxury item and like a safe haven. When things are uncertain, people want that tangible security that gold offers, even if the price goes up.
So it's a mix of fear-driven buying with that timeless desire for gold as a status symbol?
Exactly. People see it as a hedge against inflation and all that market volatility, which just fuels that investment demand. And then you've got the cultural and social aspects where gold is like woven into celebrations and traditions and aspirations. That desire is not going anywhere.
Okay, but here's another twist. Lightweight jewelry, rose gold, white gold, it's all gaining traction, especially among younger buyers. Is this just a passing fad, or is gold getting like a millennial makeover?
That's a great question, really. Probably a mix of fashion and affordability. Lighter pieces are easier on the wallet, which makes sense when gold's so expensive. We could be seeing a shift in how gold is perceived, you know? A new generation valuing that versatility and elegance over just how much it weighs.
Speaking of shifts, they're predicting a surge in 18-karat gold by 2029. How are they getting ready for that potential wave? Revamping designs, new collections, just for 18-karat gold. What's the plan?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? They've tested the waters with 18 karat, but haven't gone all in. Gotta weigh those risks and rewards. Do they make separate lines just for 18 karat or tweak their current designs? And how do they get the message across to their customers about what's so great about 18 karat? Lots to consider.
So they're at a crossroads, trying to hold on to their 22-karat dominance while strategically positioning themselves for this potential 18-karat gold rush.
Precisely. How they balance that tradition with innovation, that's going to be fascinating to watch. This brings us to another big piece of the puzzle, their future outlook. They're aiming for continued growth, sure, but what are the potential roadblocks they might hit along the way?
Well, they've got those ambitious expansion plans. 25 new stores next financial year, including those new lifestyle stores targeting a younger crowd with more trendy pieces. And they're still venturing into new territories, zeroing in on Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. Definitely a bold move.
Bold, for sure, but boldness comes with its own set of hurdles. The big question is, can they keep those profits rolling in while expanding at such a crazy pace? It's a delicate balancing act.
Their CFO did make a point of emphasizing their focus on internal accruals, meaning they're using their own profits to fuel this growth. That's a pretty good indicator of financial stability, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And they're working on streamlining their inventory and embracing that made-to-order model, which could really boost their efficiency and margins.
Smart moves. But we can't forget the competition's heating up. They've got to contend with those big national players, and then you've got the local rivals in each market. Staying true to that quality and customer experience while growing so rapidly, that's their key to long-term success.
Right. It's not just about opening stores. It's about recreating that PNG magic in each new location. Got to make sure every customer walks out feeling like they've experienced something special, something unique.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the big elephant in the room, gold prices. So volatile, they've got a good hedging strategy in place, which should help soften the blow of any sudden price swings, but it's still a factor they can't control.
So they've got a lot to juggle. Managing growth, navigating competition, keeping a close eye on gold prices. It's a high-stakes game.
It is, but they've got a solid track record and a clear vision. How they navigate these challenges and keep building on their success, that's what we'll be watching. It is, but they've got a solid track record and a clear vision. How they navigate these challenges and keep building on their success, that's what we'll be watching.
Absolutely. Speaking of navigating, we were talking about their expansion strategy before the break and how they're really carefully picking their spots in those new territories.
It's fascinating how they're using their history to tell their expansion story. Remember that Peshwa route they mentioned?
It's like more than just a slogan. What's the story there?
Well, you know the Peshwas, right? They were this powerful dynasty, ruled a big chunk of western and central India centuries ago. So by bringing up that parallel, PNG is linking their expansion to this, like, legacy of ambition and power.
So they're tapping into this historical narrative of growth and influence. Pretty clever way to frame their expansion, especially those new markets.
Totally. Creates a sense of purpose and this, like, continuation. They're not just some new company. They're building on this rich history of success. And, that really speaks to people, especially in a culture that values tradition.
It's like they're saying, we've been doing this for ages and we're not slowing down. But let's go back to those record high gold prices for a second. It's kind of counterintuitive that demand is actually going up.
It really shows you the power of gold, doesn't it? That dual nature we talked about. It's both a luxury good, something that says, hey, I've made it, and a safe haven, a refuge when things are shaky.
So when inflation's up and the stock market's like a roller coaster, people run to gold as that steady thing, even if the price is climbing.
Exactly. It's that old fear factor mixed with the desire for stability. Gold's always held its value even when everything else is going crazy, and that peace of mind, that's valuable.
But it's not just about holding onto your wealth, it's about showing it off, too, right? Gold is a status symbol, a way to say, look how well I'm doing. It's a cultural thing, too.
Right. Deeply rooted in celebrations, weddings, festivals. You can't separate gold from those traditions, and that just fuels the demand, no matter the price tag.
It's like this wild mix of economic anxiety and cultural values that's pushing those gold prices higher and higher. And P&G seems to be surfing that wave pretty well, thanks to their smart hedging strategy. Now, I get that hedging's about minimizing risk, but can you break it down for someone who's never bought a gold bar in their life?
Imagine you're a baker, right? You need flour for your kicks, but you're worried the price might go up and eat into your profits. So you make a deal with a supplier, you agree on a price for the next year, no matter what happens in the market.
So it's like locking in a good deal, even if the price goes crazy later on.
Exactly. That's what P&G is doing with gold. They're locking in prices, protecting themselves from those sudden price hikes.
So even if the price of gold explodes, they're safe because they've already got a lower price locked in. Pretty smart.
It's a strategic move that gives them that price predictability, helps them keep those profit margins healthy, especially important in an industry where the cost of materials can be all over the place.
It's like they're playing chess, thinking ahead, protecting their position. But let's talk about those new territories for a bit. Can they really pull off the same success they have in Maharashtra in places where people might not know their brand as well?
That's the big question, isn't it? Expanding into the unknown always comes with risks. But P&G seems to be doing it strategically. They're focusing on states that have strong cultural ties to Maharashtra, where people are at least somewhat familiar with their brand.
So they're not just throwing darts at a map. They're picking places where they've got a head start, that cultural connection that could give them an edge.
Right. They're also playing to their strengths, their history, their craftsmanship, that reputation for quality and customer service. Those are valuable assets no matter where you go.
So it's like taking their winning recipe and tweaking it for those new environments. But are they being picky about who they partner with, especially for franchises? I mean, their name's on the line.
Oh, absolutely. They're not just giving franchises to anyone with an empty shop. They're looking for partners who get their brand, who share their values, their commitment to quality and customer service, ethical practices, the whole package.
So it's more like building a network of brand ambassadors, each one carrying the P&G torch into those new markets.
Exactly. It's controlled growth, keeping things consistent and high quality while expanding their reach. It's worked for other big brands, and it could be P&G's path to, nationwide success.
It's like they're building this whole P&G ecosystem, carefully cultivating their presence across the country. Let's switch gears again, talk about lab-grown diamonds. They haven't jumped on that train yet. Is that a missed opportunity, or are they being strategically cautious?
It's definitely a calculated risk. Lab-grown diamonds are changing the game, but they also appeal to a different kind of buyer. For now, P&G seems to be sticking with their core strength, natural diamonds, and handcrafted jewelry.
Like they're saying, we're the kings of traditional, and we're sticking to our roots. But isn't there a risk they're missing out on a big opportunity by ignoring this whole new market?
It's a valid point. They're betting that people will still want natural diamonds, that their customers value that rarity and prestige that comes with them. But the lab-grown diamond market's growing fast, and they can't ignore it forever.
So it's this balancing act, staying true to what they're known for while being open to new things, new trends that could shake up the whole industry.
Right. And they've got to do it all while managing those fluctuating gold prices, expanding into new territories, and keeping up with the competition. Lots to juggle.
It sounds like they've got their work cut out for them. But they seem to have a good plan in place.
It sounds like they've got their work cut out for them. But they seem to have a good plan in place.
They do. And we're back for the final stretch of our deep dives into P&G Jewelers. We've covered so much ground, from their amazing financials to those ambitious expansion plans. Even their careful approach to those up-and-coming trends like lab-grown diamonds and that 18-karat gold.
It's been a fascinating journey for sure. We've seen how they're using their long history, that commitment to quality, and their deep understanding of the market to really navigate this complex jewelry industry.
Absolutely. But every success story has its challenges, right? What are some of the potential roadblocks P&G might hit as they keep growing?
Well, the most obvious one's got to be those gold prices, always up and down. Even with that strong hedging strategy they have, a sudden price jump could still impact their margins. They're in a high-stakes game, always got to be one step ahead.
It's like walking a tightrope, balancing that hunger for growth with the need to protect their profits.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about the competition. They've got those big national brands breathing down their necks, and then you've got those local players in each market all fighting for a piece of the pie.
Exactly. It's a crowded space, and P&G needs to keep innovating, keep finding ways to stand out, offer something unique, something that sets them apart.
It's not just about selling jewelry. It's about selling an experience, that feeling of luxury and tradition that their customers love. But what about their choice to stick with natural diamonds? Could that hesitation to embrace lab-grown diamonds come back to bite them?
It's a risk, no doubt. They're putting their faith in the enduring appeal of natural diamonds, that their customers will keep valuing that rarity and prestige. But the lab-grown diamond market's exploding, they can't ignore it forever.
So, again, it's about finding that balance, staying true to their core values while being open to new things, those trends that could completely change the industry. What really stood out to me, though, was their focus on internal accruals, using their own profits to fuel their expansion instead of piling on a ton of debt.
That shows you they're in it for the long haul, right? Not just chasing quick wins, but building something that lasts.
Like they're playing the long game, making smart moves that'll set them up for success for years to come. And then there's their expansion into those new territories, carefully choosing states that have those strong cultural connections to Maharashtra, where their brand's already established.
Brilliant strategy, using what they've already built, that brand equity and cultural familiarity, to step into new markets with a leg up.
Like planting seeds in the perfect soil, letting their brand grow in places where it's likely to thrive. But with all this growth and expansion, there's one big question. Can they maintain that same commitment to quality and customer experience as they get bigger?
That's the real test. They've built this reputation for excellence, for craftsmanship, and personalized service. They need to make sure every new store, every franchise, lives up to those standards.
It's about making sure that experience is the same, no matter where you go. Every customer walking out feeling like they got a taste of that PNG magic, that unique mix of tradition, luxury, and personal attention.
Exactly. It's about recreating that PNG magic everywhere they go. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the big takeaway for you? Will PNG jewelers keep shining, or will they stumble as they navigate all this growth and competition?
I'm optimistic. I really am. They've got a proven track record, a clear vision, and a team that's obviously passionate about their brand. They're not just selling jewelry, they're selling a legacy, a piece of Indian culture.
And they're not sitting still, are they? They're always innovating, adapting, looking for ways to wow their customers.
Exactly. And that's what'll make or break them in the end. Staying adaptable, responding to those market changes, always one step ahead. It's going to be an interesting journey to watch.
It really is. So to all you listeners out there, keep an eye on PNG Jewelers. They're a company worth watching, a real testament to the power of tradition, that draw of luxury, and the importance of rolling with the punches in a world that's always changing. It's been great diving deep with you all today. And hey, keep exploring, keep learning, and until next time, keep diving deep into the world of business.
Absolutely. There are always hidden gems out there just waiting to be discovered.